I was planning to discuss Pain Hustlers this week, but by all accounts, it's just another shit Netflix movie. So I decided I didn't need that kind of negativity in my life. So instead, we're going to look at the kind of negativity that I decided I did need in my life this week, and that's Five Nights at Freddy's. It's based on the video game series of the same name. The screenplay was written by game creator Scott Cawthorn, while Emma Tammy directs. We follow struggling security guard Mike, who's played by Josh Hutcherson, who's haunted by a childhood trauma and out of work after an incident where he attacked a father. Desperate for a job to keep custody of his sister, he accepts a low-paying role as an overnight guard at the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where the animatronic mascots come to life at night with murderous intent. So kind of like Night at the Museum if the people in the museum wanted to murder you. I've never played the video games before, so I'm not too familiar, but it appears all of the above is just needless backstory manufactured to get us to care about our central lead. And to be honest, it feels really manufactured and tacked on. If you're thinking it all sounds a bit serious for a story about serial killer animatronics, you're exactly right. It's bizarre that the person who invented this entire series seems to not understand why it should work. It should be a fun popcorn flick, and instead it spends 90 minutes of this overlong 2-hour runtime trying to make us give a shit about this really threadbare plot. The opening credits seem to almost pitch it as Stranger Things, right down to similar title graphics and an ominous synthy opening theme, and you get the sense it's going to feast in the nostalgia of its setting of kind of an old school American family restaurant turned evil by night. But no, it does none of that. It doesn't. It's not nostalgic at all, despite being set in this. Josh Hutcherson reminds me of AJ Soprano growing up here, except with AJ, you're supposed to think that he's a mopey little shit, whereas Mike is apparently supposed to be the hero that we're meant to root for here. Elizabeth Lale bizarrely plays a cop that, for some reason, is enamored with the place, and she seems to serve no actual purpose to the story but to give us pointless exposition. And pointless is the word that comes to mind when I think of Five Nights at Freddy's. There's no point to any of this. It's runtime, it's characters' motivations. The idea of being a late night security guard in a pizzeria isn't something that an audience is going to really be able to relate to, except for really specific portions of it. To feel scared as good horror should. We should be able to see things through and relate to the protagonist. Instead, he's got a really specific job and backstory that for some reason, again, like, I'm not scared of that. I'm not going to lose sleep at night going, what if I accept a job in a pizzeria? There's a character in this as well, and this just goes to show kind of how random it is. Her central motivation seems to be the welfare of Mike's sister. Rightfully, again, it's something that when you look at the plot, you're like, yeah, someone probably should be asking those questions. But she's actually presented as an evil, almost Cruella de Vil type character for some reason, with an evil scheming plot, again, that is never actually fleshed out or discussed. The entire film just feels random and not fun at all. And after 90 minutes of build, you get down to the nuts and bolts of the animatronics going on their spree and our characters avoiding it, which is pretty much what the game is, as far as I understand. And you figure, right, okay, this is a game. It's obviously popular enough to be made into a movie. This should be the good part, right? This is where they're doing what the game did and made it successful, and it's the creator doing it. Nope. Not at all. Nope. There's no creativity with them somehow, or justification that, oh, that's why this is a popular game. I get it now. It just feels like Cawthorn made a video game one time about a nonsensical nightmare that he once had. The opportunity to make a movie about it presented itself. He vomited up a script in 20 minutes, and then they just made that exact movie, no questions asked. Five Nights at Freddy's is like spending an evening in a shit pizzeria. It seems like it could be fun when you kind of look at it on paper, but it just ends up making you feel a bit sick, like you wasted your time and you want your money back. Avoid.